What's up, guys? Ronin Man here, and we are at Jolla Cove. We basically stay like right up there, so we're self-isolating, and you can see the birds up here. It's absolutely gorgeous here. You cannot believe it. It is absolutely unfucking real. This is one of the most beautiful, really one of the most beautiful places in the world, and there's nobody here, and like we're legit. We're supposed to be here. We're staying right up there, and we're down here getting some fresh air, and there's no people, and all good, healthy, and here's the water coming in. There's some dolphins out there, and there's some people out there swimming. I saw this morning there's a bunch of people out there. There's, if you can see closely, there's people swim out to those buoys there. This is just unbelievable. And today I want to talk about something that I think a lot of guys just almost forget about. Almost like in the middle of all the compromises that guys make, you know, in their relationships and in their jobs, and it's the idea of an adventure. And you know, I had a friend, and he used to say, "Advenchaaaa, advenchaaaa." That's what he would just say. He'd just say, "Fucking advenchaaaa." Like he'd go up to the, like, for example, I mean, I think of it when I was a kid, because me and my brother, we were just fucking into advenchaaaa. We used to call it, Dare's Trails, like Dare's Trails. So I would, whoever was like leading the Dare's Trail would like say I would climb up this, right? And then you had to climb up behind me, or you were fucking out, you know, you lost, right? So the Dare's Trail was the guy leading it had to do something, and everybody else had to copy. So in here, there's a bunch of caves. We're gonna go swimming in there later. We're gonna swim probably from the beach down. There's a beach down that way, about a half mile. We're gonna about down that way. We're gonna swim from there all the way over to here, and then into these caves. These are like absolutely gorgeous caves. It's totally legal to swim into them. And but the cool thing is that since nobody's here, it's a very great opportunity to do something that you usually can't do, because usually there's a lot of people. It's usually very crowded. So we ended up, I mean, it was a bit of stroke of luck that we ended up here, self-isolation, right in the most, you know, one of the most beautiful spots, I'd have to say, in the world. I mean, we're just seeing one little spot here, but trust me, it is absolutely epic, like all the way down here. All the way down there. There's like, you know, different ecosystems basically along the coast of California. So it's very different in each place, you know. Different colored sand, different compositions, different types of rocks, cliffs, different birds. There's pelicans over here. We got them yesterday on, there's sea lions, there's seals, there's dolphins, tons of dolphins out in the water here. And there's a lot of these orange fish, which I never noticed before, but the water's so clear, you can kind of see it coming up here. And I think the reason why we ended up here, and the guys who did come to the summit, you know, you could say we're stuck here. You know, we're fucking stuck here. Isn't it terrible? You know, it's just terrible. Look at this, you know. What else can you know, just awful. Let's see, I hear some water over here. But it was because we did the work in advance, you know. Like I knew it was gonna be, I knew shit was going on, you know. It wasn't like this was gonna be an easy one. But I just had a feeling that we should do this one. So the guys showed up, and then we got locked down. So that's basically what happened. So here we are now, locked down. And might have to stay here for a while. Look at this. Look at that. There's some big fish here too, because you can't fish. It's illegal to fish here. There's an orange fish down there. Yeah, there's another one. There's another one right there. Let's see, where is it? I got a point with it's different than my eye.
Right by that one.
Yeah, there's a couple. No, there's like two right there. There's like two. Yeah, so how do we get into situations? And here's the thing, man. Men love adventure. Men fucking love adventure, you know? It's like something that, it's almost like when we're kids, I mean, at least for me, I was like fucking adventure all the time. Like I'd be so bored, like with adults just doing their thing. And me and my brother would be like, we got to get the fuck out of here. You know, like we wouldn't use that kind of bad language. We would just be like, you know, it would basically signal to each other that it's time to go, time to move out, right? Pretend like you're going to the bathroom or something and get the hell out. And the thing is, and here's the thing, is adventure is something that everybody loves. Humans, I believe, with all these chain stores, all this boring stuff today, everything that's closed today, pretty much most of it, I don't even care about, personally. Like, it's almost like, okay, most stuff is closed that I would never use. So, you know, okay. I mean, of course, I care about the economy. I care about people's lifestyles. I care about people's health and all that. But a lot of this stuff in modern society is kind of useless stuff, you know? And it's like a substitute for living, basically. Taking all these drugs, all this fucking medication, it's a substitute for being fucking happy. And what is it that can change your chemistry in your mind, your friendships, your emotion, your motivation, I would say also your ability. Like one of the things is, here's the thing, is girls love adventure. So my friend that used to say adventure, what he would do, he would go to the girl, like say in a club, right? And the girl would be like, he'd say, well, let's go outside, or let's do this, or let's go to my house. And she would say like, no, I have to be with my friends, you know, I got to do this logical thing. And he just whispers in here, he just goes, Advenchaaaa. Advenchaaaa. And the girl's like asking all these logical questions. He's like, Advenchaaaa. Just like that, same tone. Advenchaaaa. Like really ridiculous, right? And the girl would be like, finally she'd be like, okay, adventure. You know, let's go do adventure. Because we all love adventure. You know what I mean? Kids love it, fucking men love it, boys love it, girls love it. And the last thing that girls are bored out of their fucking mind, they have no adventure. People just don't have it anymore. How did we get this adventure? We got this adventure, we took the chance, you know? You know, this Hayden here came from Canada, you know? Fucking stuck in this place, you know?
Oh no.
Is it pretty terrible? How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's awful, you know?
Yeah. Pretty rough,
Suck in this gorgeous place.
Suck it up.
It's the best place to be quarantined.
Suck it up, man. Suck it up. You know, 'cause this is
as long as the beaches are open, I'm pretty happy.
Well, we got to be careful with the beaches because they might be closed. But
no, like places like this.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
As long as I can get to the coast, it would go through the caves like this.
Well, the thing is, since we live here, we can come down here. So this is like backyard right here. So I would say is that if you look at your life and you no longer have that feeling of adventure, you need to get back. You need to like get back to it and realize. I guess the first step is just realizing that your life has no adventure. You know, that you've kind of given up on any kind of, like, if you're trapped in a miserable relationship, you know, this coronavirus thing is a great opportunity for you to rethink everything. You know, just say, hey man, what am I doing with my life? You know, what do I want to do with my life? Where am I now? You know, like, don't make any big changes. Just say, where am I? You know, just like super honest, you know, like, what am I doing? Like, what am I looking at? Like when you look up right now, here's what we're looking at. What do you look at when you look up right now? What can you see? Is it your computer? Is it like a fluorescent light? What is it, you know?
Highway, driving to work.
A highway. What can you hear? What sounds can you hear? What sounds are there? All these things affect you. You know, they affect your health, they affect your blood pressure, they affect your motivation. You know, and what happens to a lot of men is they slowly get trapped into miserable situations, and eventually they get discarded and they get totally destroyed. So I would say, you know, kind of head it off at the pass. You know, this is the goal in life, is to learn from other people's experience, right? Is, you know, you got your own experience and then you see somebody else and then you say, wait a second, I'm gonna do something new. I'm not gonna go and crash my car and die. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna change my tires, right? I'm gonna put on snow chains. You know, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do these things to protect myself because I saw somebody else who didn't do that and look what happened to them, right? So a lot of it, listening to these videos, is not like, hey, I didn't go through that. But it's like, a lot of times you could be on the road to going through that without even knowing it. You know, and one thing that was good was yesterday. I forgot what pseudonym he used, but one of the guys said that it was like he had a perfect red pill life, but then when he met this one woman, the Brazilian, he just went into a trance.
Oh, Eric.
Yeah, Eric. Yeah, so like basically he went from totally being in control. He knew what he was doing, you know, and he's in, you know, I know the guy. He's been to a couple summits. He's in good shape. You know, he's young. You know, he makes money. You know, he travels. You know, he has a motorcycle, car. He knows what's going on. He's traveled the world. You know, he's a cool guy. But then all of a sudden, it's like he kind of knows his values, basically, right? And the next thing you know, he's like totally married to some total fucking girl who basically only wanted a green card. And I got to tell you, that is one of the worst deceptions you can have. Like, okay, look, it's one thing to be wanted. Like think about this. Think about this. You're wanted for your cock, right? Say you have a big cock, right? And the girls want you for your cock. That is not the greatest thing, actually, because you want to be wanted for yourself, okay? For your real soul, for who you really are. Trust me on this one. It doesn't matter what it is they want you for. That's not your real soul. You know, like let's say you win a gold medal, but actually you want to be wanted for the real you, for the guy who might be sick, who's scared, how did you get that gold medal? You got that gold medal by overcoming a lot of stuff and a lot of, you know, sweaty days and all that stuff. You want somebody who wants you for the whole you that you are. Somebody who actually cares about you. You don't want just somebody who wants you because you've got a gold medal, right? So the thing is no matter what somebody wants you for, if it's not the real you, it's fucked. It's totally fucked. It doesn't matter if it's like, because you're in good shape. You could be all these things that you're proud of, right? You know, you're a good lover, or anything like this. You know, you live in a nice area, you're funny, whatever it is. Is that the real you? Is that you want to, like, I don't know for you, but for myself, I want friends. I want relationships with people, okay, whether men or women in my life. I want people in my life who actually appreciate me when I'm just sitting there, just for being myself, you know? And I want to look for people that I like to just hang out with. I'm comfortable with them. You know, we don't need to do anything. They don't need to do anything. They don't need to give me something. They can just sit there and we can just, you know, they can be doing their thing, you know, like they're on their computer. And then every once in a while we kind of look at each other and say, hey, you know, you hungry? You know, and like there's a good vibe, you know? It's like, yeah, no, not yet. How about 30 minutes? No, okay, look, I'll go first. I'm going to go over here. You want to eat that? Yeah, well, that's cool. Okay, well, look, I'm going to go over there. So when you finish, just text me. I'll be over there. You know, and it's like, okay, cool. You know, I got a friend like that in Bangkok. We just kind of have this kind of like unwritten rule friendship thing where we don't have to make a big deal. I don't have to talk him into like, let's go eat now. Or like, you came with me yesterday. And so I'm going to, you know, I came with you yesterday. So you come with me today. You know, this kind of friendship where you're always like trading something. Or if the guy has money, it's like he's paying or something, right? You don't want a life like that. You don't want a woman who wants you for anything other than the real you. And if anybody doesn't want you, and if you're in a life, because this leads to a life, a shitty life, right? A life with no adventure at all. Because adventure comes out of, it really comes out of a lot of complex things that you got to be doing right to really have an adventurous life. Because here's the thing. You could climb Mount Everest. You could fucking do something that's considered adventurous, but it doesn't feel adventurous. Because it's just a goal. It's to prove something to somebody else. It's to show somebody something, right? What adventure is like, it's doing it, it's adventurous for you. You actually feel curious. You actually feel interested. You actually feel, it feels good. It feels interesting. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like coming to the summit. I could be in California, but it's not really an adventure unless I'm with people that I want to be with.
Like right now, you feel like a sense of fucking, how do you feel? How do you feel right now?
This is what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like this is the reason why I came, is to come and do this type of stuff. So the adventure, like it would be a different adventure if I got to the airport and nobody picked me up.
Yeah.
It would be different, but it wouldn't be what I wanted.
We didn't promise to pick you up, but we
No
did.
way.
Yeah. We didn't promise shit.
No way. I flew out here and it was like, okay.
I think there was a
Look
dolphin
over
right
here.
there. I think there was
Oh,
a
really?
dolphin right there, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Pretty sure right there. Right there was a dolphin. I don't know. It was some kind of big fish just came out of the water.
Oh man, I hope so. Did you get it on film?
Maybe it's a person. I don't know, like a scuba diver.
Oh, possibly.
Something came because there's people over there.
There's people right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel right now? Like what? Tell me. You've been telling me a lot of stuff, Walwood. Like how do you feel about this whole thing? Like what do you feel right now? Stand here so you can sit in the mic.
I feel like almost euphoric. Like there's a change here.
Oh, it's a person. It's a person.
It is a person, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I feel like it's like a total. It's like a group of guys that are like everyone like gives to each other like unconditionally. Like it's very much just like okay, so like you're dealing with this. Let me help you if you want it. If you want it, if you're able to listen to what I'm saying, and everyone does. It's not like almost nothing gets wasted here. Like nothing like falls on deaf ears because everyone's just absorbing everything. Like during the talks, like sometimes it gets to the point where what did Rhino say? Like his cup overflew. Like it overflowed.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, my mind's like melting.
We haven't even posted that video yet.
No, but he was just like, oh my god, like this is crazy. So it's like it's surreal and it's really valuable. Like I can't. It's hard to put it into words because it's like a crazy experience that you would never do in like a regular if you were a normal person. The people, the guys that come are not normal guys. They really want. They're so ambitious. It's almost scary to look around, and they're ambitious in different ways, which is awesome. Because everyone has different things they're working on all the time. So how I feel like it's surreal. It's like really happy like angry. And like
you feel good, right?
Yeah, like it just like warm inside.
I can see it. I can see it in you. You know, I can see you like when you first got here, and then I can see how you like are acting now. And I just suspected you feel like this is like one of the most epic fucking weekends.
Oh, yeah. This is like the best.
Where were you, let's say, a few months ago? Or let's pick a time. Where were you recently? Like
recently.
Mentally,
like trapped. Like I was in my job. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
And you got a good job. He's a professional, makes good money.
Yeah.
Like paid by the hour, but paid very highly.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like I'm trapped. I gotta go to the same place every day. I see the same people. All the people that I work with are like very much trapped in what they do. And they all think the same way, and then I don't think like that. So it's very much, like it's not even sad. It's just like,
it's not what you want.
It's not what I want to do forever.
Right.
So
there's a lot of good things that you don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. There's a lot of careers I could have done that would have been good, but they're not what I want. It's not about impressing anybody. It's really about what do you want? Like, what do you fucking want out of your life? You know, for me, like I'm 55, right? I know that life is short. You know, it is fucking short. Like this is not like a motivational speech. Life is very, very short. You know, and so it's like I want to enjoy my life. I want to bring happiness to people. I don't want to be part of something that is scammy. I don't want to be part of something that I feel is not. And I think a lot of businesses, here's the thing, a lot of these unhappy people, they can talk all this shit about how they wish they're happy and this and that, but they're actually hurting people too. Like they're living shitty lives, like working in shitty businesses that rip people off. You know, working in companies where you know how you get them to sign up for some bullshit, and then it's like a monthly thing, and they're trapped. It's like
I never thought of it like that. Yeah.
But that's what a lot of guys are doing with their lives. They're like part of these companies and part of these businesses where they're just bringing fucking misery to other people, and they say, oh well, it's just business, right? By the way, that was like I forgot who said that. I think it was Al Capone. It was not a nice person who said it's just business. This is not like some kind of truism. It's just business with somebody who kills people for money and like blackmails people and ruins people's lives. That's who said that. So it's not just business for me. It's never just business. No, it's always my life. Who are you? What do you want to live like? You know, so it's not just are you happy or not? Are you an adventure? It's like, are you fucking the world over? You know, really. Like, are you fucking people over and ruining lives? You know, and that's what a lot of people are doing. Maybe in a very subtle way. Maybe it's not direct, but it's just like one more thing, one more fucking bullshit thing. That's just one more headache for people, right? You know what I mean? Like a cell phone contract.
Yeah, it was an extra bill.
An extra fucking bill. An extra stress. Like one thing that you don't want, you're doing as a career to put food on the table and causing hundreds, thousands, whatever it is of people to be miserable. I think you have to analyze, you have to really think, if you want to have an adventurous, fun life, it's not just about doing what you want. It's also about thinking about what you're doing to other people. Yeah. Not in an SJW sense, but in who are you sense. You know, for myself, I turned my back on a lot of careers because of this. Because I realized, I thought, would I really want someone to, you know what I mean? Is this really what I want to do? Like would I be happy if someone did this to me? Yeah, it's like, if it doesn't feel good inside, then I'd have to say, don't stop right away, especially in a crisis right now, you know? But you gotta really, like, honestly face your life, you know? You know, it's like, what are you doing with your life? How are you treating people? Who are you letting around you? What career are you doing? What do you do? What are you looking at right now? Just look around. Just look around. Look around yourself. What are you looking at? What are you listening to? You know, what have you listened to in the last couple days? Like, what TV shows? Go in your Google history. What websites have you visited? You know, what are you doing? Like, what is your life? What is it? If there was a CCTV camera in your head just recording everything, what would it be showing? You know, and then just say, like, is this the life I want to live? What was that movie, The Truman Show or something or whatever? The Truman Show. You ever see that? I never saw it, but it was some guy who realized he was in a movie. Jim Carrey. He was like living in a movie. But if you could watch yourself as if you're living a movie, what is your life? Like, what are you doing? You know? And for myself, I was a kid who loved to throw rocks. I loved to throw rocks. I loved to climb trees. I loved to go in caves. I loved to swim. I love to hang out with my friends. You know, I love these simple things, you know. I love to look, like, you know, like, I like to look around, like, seeing what's in here. What is in this little thing, right? Is there any fish in there? Is there any crabs in there? You know, like, what tide is it? Is this tide coming up, or is the tide going down? You know, are we going to be able to walk out there soon, or is it going to come, you know, up here, you know, up here? You know, I'm just very interested, like, how far is the first cave? Is that a big cave there, or is that, like, not a cave there? Is that a cave there? That looks like a good one there, right over there. That looks really good. You know, like, that's adventure for me. Like, just swimming out there, just swimming right out there to the unknown and going into those caves, that's fucking adventure, man. That is, for me, just for me, that's exciting adventure. Like, what is there, man? I want to know, man. It's the same thing when I do my videos. That's why I always film, like, on the ground and stuff, because I'm looking down, seeing what's, you know, because there's interesting, I knew this guy, right, when I was younger, and he used to always say, look up, man, you look down too much. It's very negative. You're always looking down. And it's like, yeah, but when you look up, you just see the sky, right? You know, like, I think it's very interesting, and I find a lot of money too. you know, it's like I'm always like looking down, kind of seeing what's going on, like, what am I walking on? What is here? You know, I look down a lot, you know, and I don't accept other people's analysis. I mean, I'll think about it. Like, I did consider what he said, you know, and I tried looking up, you know, all the time, as if, you know, I thought, well, okay, he said that if you have high self-esteem, you look up, and low self-esteem, you look down. That was his theory, you know.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, and so I tried that, but then I realized that when I started looking down and I found like a $20 bill, I found like a 5,000 yen thing on the ground. It's like $45, right? I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, you know. So I said maybe my way of, like, doing things, because when I was a kid, I used to look on the ground a lot, and I'd put things in my mouth, right? You know, and I would crawl into corners, right? I would just, like, look around. You know, you see kids, like, looking down, but kids aren't negative, you know. So part of life for you, adventure, is finding out what's adventure for you. You know, adventure is not doing something that looks adventurous. Like, adventure is not necessarily climbing up here. That might not be adventure for you. Adventure might be just going around a corner, or just, you know, seeing what's over there. or checking the sand, like saying, is this you know, what kind of sediment is this? Is this a, looks like it's a sandstone, but what kind of sandstone? How does it feel like? Is it like high in some certain mineral, or whatever it is that just is kind of somewhat interesting to you at the moment?
Yeah.
It's like an adventure is not like one big adventure. Like I read a book about a lot of gold medal winners are very depressed because they thought that when they got the gold medal, this is it. They're done.
Right.
They fucking now they are a winner, right? And then a lot of them are very, very depressed because it was kind of the peak of their life, right?
Right.
You know, it's like I think adventure is more about like just everyday adventures as they come, and then sometimes you come across with that spirit of adventure, you come across epic things sometimes. You know, because you have that spirit of let's get the fuck out there and let's see what's going on, right? Like we ended up down here in La Jolla, at fucking La Jolla Cove, and this is just insane. I mean, like, I don't know how far we can walk today legally because it's a lockdown, but because this is the backyard, we can do this here. But I don't know. But I'd like to go see more because it's so beautiful around here, right?
Yeah.
But I'm cool. I want to follow the rules. I want to make sure that, you know, we do our part, you know, to keep everybody safe and everything.
Not trying to hurt anybody.
Yeah, we want to keep people safe, you know, and everything, you know. But at the same time, like my sense of adventure is just like going crazy, you know. Like one way to do some adventure today is get some scuba gear and go down in the ocean here. If I had scuba gear, there's a lot under the sea, right? If you scuba dive, I have a license. I don't scuba dive a lot, just kind of whenever there's a chance, you know. But
well, this is a protected reef too.
This is protected reef. Okay.
So there would be a lot of cool stuff over
Right.
there.
So like the spirit of adventure, man. If you don't have it, man, this was an American value. When I say American, I mean North American, like Canadian,
Yeah.
American. It was a fucking value of people who came, you know, and it was just like adventure, man. Now, you look at all the old cowboy movies, all the old things. It was like kids doing shit, climbing shit,
Like the Goonies.
figuring shit out. What's that?
Like the Goonies.
The Goonies?
Yeah, you ever seen that movie?
No.
Oh, it's like these kids are like, they go out to like this pirate bay and stuff, and like, they just get into a whole bunch of trouble and end up like fighting some monster. And all the kids are like 10 to 13. But yeah, like that, like what you're saying, it's all that. Back in the day, everything was like very much like adventure based.
Yeah.
Now we have like reality television, like Kardashians and stuff. And it's like, oh, is that really adventure?
I don't know because I don't watch TV.
Well, you
so
know what? That could be adventure though. Like my stepmom joined a quilting club, and her adventure, she hates outside.
Yeah.
But her adventure is like going to somebody else's house to do a quilt.
Okay, yeah,
So-
right.
And they rotate houses. And there's like 15 of them in the group. So they all go to different houses. So like over the course of the year, she's in a whole bunch of different places. So that would be like adventure to her.
I think that she could learn a lot though. You know,
Well, yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot more to do. Although you can,
But that's a good start.
It is. It is.
She's
it is,
very
it is.
like, I don't want to go out.
She enjoys what she does.
Yeah. So
She-
for you, that's boring. as
She
hell.
makes something. Well, no. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I could definitely enjoy making a quilt. You know, I always sew my own clothes. If I get a hole, I'll get some thread.
Yep.
You know, I'll go to the dollar store, I'll get some thread, I'll fix it myself. I realized a long time ago that it like they always say men can't cook, men can't do this, it's such bullshit.
Yeah.
Men are good at anything they try.
Yeah,
you know,
that's so much
you
stuff.
can learn whatever you, and it's a great feeling of accomplishment if you have a shirt say you really like, and it's like got a hole in it. You just fix it up. You know, it doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be the way everybody says it should be. The thread is inside the anyway because you kind of you put it together and it's inside. You can't see the threads anyway, right? So you know you can fix something your own way. You know, just like we cook, Gonzo cooking, you Konzo fucking sewing, right? So for me, I'll sit down like at a Japanese tea ceremony, and I'll watch the whole process that they do to do the tea ceremony, right? Mm-hmm. The way that there's the complicated things that you do in a tea ceremony, right? Mm-hmm. And it's definitely interesting and exciting for me. I get a I shouldn't say exciting, but I get a kind of a jolt out of one, doing something new, two, like interactive and like doing it myself, like they show me and then I do it. And that's interesting because it's one thing to watch somebody do something, it's another to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So like I think a lot of one thing I really hate today is when I go to, like, for example, up north there's an oceanography place that my friend's daughter works, and we often walk by there, me and my mom, when we're walking when I'm home, and there's a pirate ship, and it's supposed to be a pirate ship, a big ship, yeah, like 100 foot or whatever, and there's always an adult and takes the kids on there, and he talks like a pirate. Because you can walk by, you can hear it.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And he's like, "Aye, mateys, aye, scrubber," whatever the fuck he says. And the thing is the kids just sit there and repeat and stuff like that. I mean, when we were kids, literally, I fell off a cliff like this when I was a kid. I fell off a 150-foot cliff onto rocks and lived when I was a kid. I put a stake in the ground up on the top, and then I put a rope around it, and I thought that it was going to stick in the sand. I was young.
Like a cartoon.
Yeah, and it was just like a cartoon, man. I went off the edge. I went off the fucking edge, and I look up and I literally saw the stake go over my head, and I'm like, this is not good, And then I fell down the cliff, bouncing off fucking shit, like, And then I was trying to grab onto bushes, so I ripped my hands up, and what happened was I guess I had learned to fall from surfing and skateboarding, so I just relaxed. I just bounced, like my back just bounced off a rock, my head bounced, I just bounced all the way down to the highway and hit the highway, and I was totally fine. I didn't even break any bones. But the thing is, another kid fell off that same exact place and died, and I'm pretty sure I fell off worse because I had I was leaning backwards,
Yeah.
I was like leaning with the rope, It was the worst way to fall, just head first down a fucking cliff,
Well, you had faith in the rope.
And then I fell. And the thing is, what was it? We were just saying, what was I just saying before that?
Before that?
Yeah. What was I saying? I was trying to make a point here. I can't remember what it was because I got into the story too much. But like, it was. I guess you gotta.
Oh, like different adventures.
There's different adventures, different
like the
people.
Quilting and then.
Yeah, like that. Like that's the kind of stuff I like. I think you got to learn to kind of be, there's some skills you need to be as adventurous as I am. Like if I get in a, like say crash my motorcycle at say 90 miles an hour around a corner, which I have done, and hit a fire hydrant, without a helmet, the thing is that's not very smart, right? It's not very good idea to do that as a general rule.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. That's not like, I wouldn't recommend that. But I've done that, and I hit a stop sign once. I flew over a car, hit a car, flew over a stop sign.
They told us about the Mustang.
Yeah, the Mustang. Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. The first time I got on a fucking bike, right? I was working at the LA Times, right? I was like 14 years old. My friend Todd, he died actually on a motorcycle. He died on his RD 400. He hit the back of an 18-wheeler. He looked at a girl. He looked sideways at a girl, and then ended up hitting his head on a trailer of an 18-wheeler. But anyway, Todd was like, he had like a one, I don't know what it was, like a 250 or something, enduro bike. And he said, "You want to try riding?" I said, "Sure." I was like 14, And he goes, "Here's how you shift, and here's how you go, here's how you make it go fast." I'm like, okay. So, but I didn't know about brakes. Like I didn't check about brakes. I didn't ask him about brakes. He didn't tell me about brakes. So I just figured it was like a bicycle, you have the foot brake, and no, they usually have the 2 hand brakes, right? But actually, if you got a clutch, you don't have 1 hand brake, right? So anyway, I didn't even like comprehend brakes yet. I was totally into the gear thing, right? Going forward, right? So, so I started like going up. I get to 4th gear. I come to this corner that there's no way I can turn. And anyway, there was a Mustang there, and my friend's grandmother was there. I hit the Mustang, and no helmet. I went face first into the door, and crushed the door in with my face and broke the window with my face, and then flew over the car and like I don't know how many feet it was, 20 or 30 feet, and then I was there for like a long time, and people thought I was dead. And when I woke up, I looked up and my friends were all looking at me like really weird look, and then I just stood up and I was fine. And I said, "I love motorcycles," And then and I went back and looked at the car, and you could literally, the door caved in with my head, and you could see the, like I must have done it just with the headbutt part of my head, because you could literally see my eyebrows in the metal. Like that's how much I crushed in the door with my face. No helmet. And I was totally fine. Like I literally had nothing wrong with me, except for I was in shock for a couple of days. I was like kind of in a weird state, like a nervous, weird state for a couple of days. But then I got out of it, and I said, man, motorcycles are awesome, right? So I started riding motorcycles. So, but I think you need a little bit of luck if you're adventurous as me. But personally, I like to roll the dice, you know? Like when I talk adventure, I don't fuck around. Like adventure is worth everything to me, you know? And I tell you something, kids love it too. When kids see that I can like, I don't mean like exciting adventure. I'm not gonna do something dangerous with a kid. What I'm gonna do with a kid is I'm gonna crawl around, right? We're gonna crawl under here, right? We're gonna go down in there. We're gonna, you know, I'm gonna hold his feet, right? When he's going, checking out down there, right? We're gonna crawl in here. We're gonna go into all the nooks and crannies, right? I might take him down there, right? And I'll be right with him, right? So that he's okay. But I'll just try to get his adventure to just the level where he could not be without me.
Yeah.
And he's just struggling a little bit to do a little bit more adventure. And then as soon as he's not ready, he's back up on the rock or back up in the house and very safe. So that's the thing. You have to kind of go into it in a pace. You got to take your own pace, you know, for what you're willing, what you're ready for, what you want to do, you know. So don't overwhelm yourself. It's not a contest. It's not an ego thing. I'm not talking about an ego thing. But adventure, you know, to me, I mean, I think we were born to be adventurous. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't think we were born to have shitty fucking Starbucks lives. I just don't think so. You know?
Yeah.
Fat guy sitting in Starbucks. I don't think that's what that kind is made for. I think it's made for adventure. That's the whole thing. About everything that you want to do is probably an adventure, right?
Yeah.
Starting a business is definitely an adventure. Building a business is an adventure. Learning how to manage people, learning how to do and travel, building something. You know, sometimes it can be even interesting. It's not really adventure, but it can be even interesting to put something together, you know, like IKEA furniture. It can be interesting, you know, like, well, how does this fit together, you know? Especially if you're doing it with somebody, you know, you're kind of together doing it with somebody else.
Yeah.
Right? It could be something interesting, right? So I would say like, look for fucking, I would say first thing you want to do is look at your life and say, am I living the life I want? Is this the life don't blame it on women, don't blame it on society, don't blame it on the Illuminati. Just say, am I living the life I want? Like, is this what I want for my life? You know, is this what I was made for? Is this it? Am I going to be happy? Like, seriously, on my final breath, am I going to say, you know what? That was kick-ass. I'm so glad I did that. Yeah. Or are you just covering up total feelings of not being able to change and being stuck and worthlessness and just feeling angry and sad and like what feelings do you have, you know? Adventure is not always easy, it's not always fun, but I mean, I don't know, man. I don't, every time I get into a rut, I'm just like, fuck this, you know, fuck this rut, you know.
Yeah, I would suggest to start small. Like, but before I came out here, I used to.
I wouldn't.
Well, I used to.
But that's cool.
Scared.
No, but that's cool though.
I was scared.
That's totally cool though. But that's the thing.
That was for me. But
yeah.
it's like a different take, right?
That's
so
the thing.
I used to go to different towns first.
Okay.
And then I go to like their like bar and meet some people. I go on a walk.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, like let's do this shit.
Yeah.
Like as I got more. I used to travel too. Like my dad lived, so I was going on planes all the time. So the airport wasn't a big deal. But it was like, okay, like I'm gonna get on a plane, I'm gonna go somewhere and meet all these new people, these new guys that I've never met before, and like, kind of because I was in a bad place with the divorce, so it's good to get out there again and get back kind of in the mindset of, you know, I can go where I want to go.
So basically, like, you would say, like, the first thing you want to do is be more adventurous right now.
Yeah, like today. Like today.
Today,
like,
whatever you're doing, do something that's more unknown.
Yeah, break your mold.
More challenging today, like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't just finish that coffee and that YouTube video that you're watching about fucking the coronavirus or whatever, you know? It's like one more fear-based media thing that you have all the tabs open with endless fear.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, let me get afraid of something again. I need to be afraid of something new, you know? Like, yeah, just make a small change, close some tabs, and just say, you know what, today I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm not going to do that.
No, it's something.
Sometimes it's not, to me, like to make changes. It's not about what are you going to do. It's more like what are you not going to do.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing, because once you take away the things that you know are not adventurous, you will have, it's like the empty coffee cup idea that I always talk about. It's like if you have a cup of coffee and it's cold, don't pour half of it out and then pour half new coffee in, because it won't be hot. You know, you got to just pour the whole thing out and go get a fresh cup of coffee and put the whole thing, a brand new cup of coffee, and then you're going to have a nice hot cup of coffee, right? So you got to take out what you have in there. So if you're doing shitty stuff that's not important, to say, you know what? I don't think I need to do this. I don't think I need to do this again today. You know, I've done this enough. I don't think I'm gonna do this today. Let me close this, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm not gonna do that.
Well, let's start with getting in my car.
Okay, get in your car. Yeah. For me, it'd be walking. It'd be doing something like that, probably. Today, you can't get in a car because of, you know, if you're listening to this today, then you're probably stuck in one place, and you know, maybe there's something that you can do right near you. Like I mean, to me, like the attic is all things like that, the rooftop, studying new things.
It'll be different for everybody.
Yeah, right. It
depends what you're into.
Right.
What you want to do.
Yeah, I have trouble with this one because I tend to make radical changes. I tend to prefer radical changes. So, for example, like for myself, what I want to do is, should be better view because the sun's not out. You can see the caves a little more. What I like to do is, instead of, here's the concept. I'll end on this. Okay, if you keep trying to change, this is an important concept actually. This is one of my main philosophies. Let's say you sit in the same environment and you're trying to change and you're using your kind of self-will. There's going to be, you only have so much self-will and there's so many new things you can do, right? So you're going to fail again. Most people just end up failing again. So a lot of times what you need to do is get into a new environment in order to change. You know, so for myself, oh, look at that seal. There we go. There he is. There he is. There he is. Yeah. There he is. He's cruising. He's cruising. He might even come over here. But what I did, like for example, when I was younger, I realized here's what it is. I interviewed at Sears when I finished college, and they gave me a piece of paper and it gave me a math test, and I'm not good at math, you know. There's a long story. When I was younger, I was good, but it's a long story. So I ended up not being good and hating math, just absolutely hating math. So he gave me a math test. And then I thought to myself, like, I was turned down for a Sears, like kind of a department assistant manager position after college. And the guy looked at me like a loser, like literally. He was like, you're not good at math, you're a loser. Like, there's only 2 people for doing the test, the interview, you know. And like math was a big part of this job apparently, which didn't make sense to me because of computers. But anyway, that was his idea, is really important. I thought it was about sales, you know. And obviously Sears had some wrong ideas. They haven't done too well, you know. But anyway, that guy's probably out of a job now. But anyway, I sat there and I looked at myself, and I was sitting there. I had finished school. I couldn't get a job that was interesting. Nothing was looking interesting in my life at that point. And I just said, you know what? I'm out of here. And I went and bought a round the world ticket for $999. And I just took about a 12-month around the world ticket from the travel section of the LA Times. I saw it $9.99. I didn't know if it was real, but I bought it. Turns out it was real. And I started going around the world. I had no idea where I was going. I did not know what I was going to do, but I just knew that if you don't need to know what you're going to do, you know, all you got to know is what you don't want. And I didn't want to be in the environment I was. I was not happy. I was a young man. I was full of energy. I was not suited for what was in front of me. I could not see any new visions. You know, it wasn't like I could just think of something adventurous to do. I was stuck. I was trapped. I was in a miserable situation. But I was a guy full of promise, full of potential, full of hidden motivation and everything, right? So that ticket around the world, as soon as I got overseas, everything changed. Because even if I wanted to do the same things that I used to do, like let's say I wanted to do exactly like have the same boring patterns, right? You know, go get the paper, make a cup of coffee, you know, talk to the same people about the same things. Even if I wanted to do that, I couldn't. So it was like funny because I would look around, you know. So sometimes it's not even about your ability or like your determination, discipline, intelligence. It's not about that. It's like about just putting yourself in a situation where you have no other choice. You just have no other fucking choice.
I call that jumping the cliff.
You're jumping into the fucking unknown. Yeah. And jumping in the unknown is one of the best ways to kickstart, to you know, they used to say, you know, that girl looks like she could suck start a Harley, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's a way to suck start your life, you know? Yes. Get your fucking shit totally new, you know? And then I ended up in all these different countries, going around the world, and it totally changed my life, you know? And so I could not be the same. And when I got home from the trip, I looked at everything around me, even though it was beautiful, like California, right? It was beautiful. But you know what? I didn't want the life that was here. I wanted the adventure of what I had seen overseas. And I wanted more international adventure. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to Japan. And I stayed here for 6 months. I saved money like a bastard. I worked at the Pfizer. I worked in the legal department. I was Xeroxing for a big lawsuit they had. We just had to Xerox like a whole warehouse full of stuff. And it was like big money. It was like by the hour. It was only like $8 an hour or something. But this is back in, let's see, 88 or whatever. And we Xeroxed for $8 an hour. But because they had so much to Xerox, and I was a fast Xeroxer, that they loved to pay double time and triple time. So they were totally stoked on paying you. Like the more you stayed, the better. My friend worked 120 hours a week, and he made a ton of money. Yeah, I worked close. I probably worked 105 hours a week. And I just saved money. I saved money, just bank money. And I slept with all the girls I worked with. It was awesome. It was actually pretty good. It was really fun, actually. I had a good time, actually, with this. It was kind of an adventure because I had never seen a corporate situation. I had never been in a corporate environment. You know, I had never seen a lot of things were new for me, actually. That would have been very boring for somebody who did it for 30 years, you know. But for me, it was pretty interesting. Like, the female lawyers were sexy and horny. And like, it was like, whoa, this is pretty cool, you know. I can actually sleep with a lawyer, you know, no way. You know, like I didn't even know I could do that, you know. I thought, whoa, you know, this is pretty cool, you know. And so it was good for like 6 months or whatever. And then I saved money, sold my car, and I went to Japan. And I remember at the airport, they were just like, where are you going? What are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, Advenchaaaa. That was it, man. That was perfect, dude. Advenchaaaa. You know, I'm just going, man. Fuck this shit. I'm out of here, man. I'm going to a new place and doing new things with new people. You know, and it's not that there's something wrong with the old people. It's just I just needed all new to reset myself, you know, and to find out who I was and to figure out what I wanted to do, you know. And that's what I did. And I've pretty much been on the road ever since, you know, and it's been fantastic. It's been absolutely fantastic. And if I would have stayed there, no matter how successful I would have been, it wouldn't have been the life that I want. You know, it wouldn't have been the life that I want. And I know, you know, when I talk to a lot of people, especially guys, because let's face it, dude, you're a fucking workhorse for some bitch. Most guys. You're just a workhorse for some bitch. That's what you do. They don't care if you're happy. They don't like you. They maybe never even liked you. Maybe they liked you at one point. Now they basically hate you. You live with someone you hate. You support someone you hate. You do a job you hate. You around people that are just doing fuck all with their lives. I mean, what the fuck are you doing? Like, no wonder you're fucking unhappy. Like, Jesus, what do you fucking want? Like someone to come in and say, you're happy. And that's what they do with the pills. You know, you can live a shitty life and you can be happy. Just take this pill. You can have a fat, ugly woman who hates you and you can get a hard on. Here's your Viagra. You know, you can live a crappy life and some chemistry company will make a way that you can continue doing what you're doing in a pretty good manner. Like decent, you know what I mean? You can have,
Good enough.
yeah, it's good enough. You can get it done. You know, you can fit in with all these other motherfuckers that you probably don't even want to fit in with. You know, that's what you can do. Is that what you want? That's what everybody else is doing. You know, I don't know what your adventure is, man. I do not know. But all I know is that there's a spirit in a lot of men. And listening to this channel, I tell you, a lot of guys here are just like raring to go when they hear this shit. I bet you're raring to go right now. Because it's like, yes, yes. Now, the thing is, what does it mean? And that's the next step. But the number one thing, never forget it, is what we're talking about right now. This is the most important thing. You almost don't need anything else. It's not like you need, you know what I mean? It's not like you're deficient, because inside you is some compass that is guiding you to where you're supposed to be. It's guiding you. There's something in you. Once you get rid of all the misery, cut out the people that are sucking all the energy, take away all the things that you're doing that are ruining your own life, stop doing the habits that are just calcified bullshit that you liked a million years ago and no longer like. Once you do that, the spirit inside you will start to guide you to where you're supposed to be. You know, it will guide you. So focus on this step now. What's your life? Are you happy? All right, guys. Adventure. Thanks for listening.